Hey everyone, welcome back to I Know a Guy. I'm Anthony, and this is the podcast where connections thrive. Each episode, we spotlight inspiring entrepreneurs, professionals, and individuals doing amazing things. Together, we'll grow your circle, spark collaborations, and discover new opportunities. Today, we're meeting Sylvie Barr. She's the founder of Holisto, a certified business mentor and award-winning marketing professional turned holistic career coach, with a mission to help young adults align with their authentic selves. Sylvie guides clients on a transformative journey of self-discovery to design meaningful and fulfilling careers. How are you doing today, Sylvie?
Hi, it's a pleasure to see you again, Anthony.
Yeah, we had you back. We had you on early when this was rough,
Yeah,
and I was excited to get you back on now that the quality is significantly better, and I'm approaching something close to professionalism. But figured have you back on because you're doing awesome things, helping a lot of people. But for those that haven't heard the first episode with you, where are you at? Where are you calling in from?
well, I'm a French lady, but I've been living and working in the UK for 30 years now. So the UK is home, and more precisely, living in the south of England. So a place called Chichester for those who have visited. It's not that far from London, but it's where we are.
So, being a transplant, I get that. If you have friends coming in the town that I've never visited before, where are you going? What are you doing? And what's for dinner?
Ooh, well, it's a very, very ancient town. It was founded by the Romans and many, many years ago, centuries ago. So there are lots of, sort of, yeah, archaeological finds around. The cathedral is celebrating 950 years of existence this year. So I like to take them around the city. We've got it's a walled city, so it's a lovely walk, lovely parks, lovely food as well. And yeah, probably spring, summertime is the best time to visit because we've got also the canal, so you can go walk by the canal, and it's very English, very, very pretty.
Okay. Well, plenty to do, but what are you doing for dinner? Are you more of a take people out to eat, or are you a home cook, or what do you prefer?
We cook a lot at home, although shall I say that is the husband who cooks? I'm the cleaner, but yeah, from time to time we enjoy going out. But he enjoys his cooking. He's a big fan of barbecuing. He barbecues lots of different things. So that's mostly at home. Yeah.
Okay. Well, the UK is not so much known for their barbecue, but I imagine there can be one or two good spots.
There
But
you go.
okay,
Yeah. No, it's not
awesome.
Texas. That's for sure.
Absolutely. So, what is it that you do? What can you tell us about Holisto?
So, well, it's quite interesting because the first time we talked, I was still working in branding and marketing and helping small businesses. But actually, yeah, a few months ago, at the back end of last year, I decided to do something that had been, nagging at the back of my mind for quite a while, and pivot the business into helping young people find their path. So what's really suited for them, as opposed to what they're told to do, and end up doing stuff that is not for them, and then making them unhappy. So it's a journey that has taken place when I set up my own business 6 years ago after a career in branding and marketing. And my method that I created to help small businesses was very much based on creating brands after a process of self-discovery. Um, because when you're a business owner like you, Anthony, you put so much of yourself in your business that you end up putting a lot of yourself in the brand. So there were lots of similarities in terms of, getting to know yourself better, knowing who you are, what you stand for, um, and it's a full circle journey, I guess, because that goes back to when I was a teenager, and I got stuck into what to do, and so I'm basically sort of like really knowing what it feels like to be in that space, and I want to help young people get away from that and just be, living a happy and fulfilling life.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a universal thing. You're expected to know what you want to do for the rest of your life at 17, 18, and you're like, I have no idea. Where
Yeah,
there's so much out there. It's like I don't even know what I like yet.
yeah, no,
Um,
exactly.
so
It's bonkers. I mean, here in the UK, we are typically, there was the same in France when I was growing up, but it's usually when you're like just at, the start of your teens, you're 12, 13, and they already ask you to choose your option so that, you're gonna, which, sort of topics or matters are you gonna graduate in. So already they put you on a path. Are you gonna be a scientific? Are you gonna be, math, English, or are you gonna be, more physics and stuff? And it's like, you're 12. I mean, for God's sake, it's like crazy, isn't it?
absolutely. So what is it that you love most now that you've made this pivot? What do you love most about what you're doing?
Well, it's really what I, was already doing with the business owners. Is really having that discovery of the person, because when you sit with someone and you sort of start showing them, it's almost like, I'm holding a mirror and I say, look, that's you. And going into, them appreciating who they are, having the confidence to look at it, as opposed to just sort of say, oh, well, no, I don't want to do that. And sort of really appreciating it, because we're always with ourselves, so we take ourselves for granted. We think that everybody's got the same skills, or everybody's got the same, outlook on life, or the same values, or the same beliefs, or it's just like we don't have that perspective and that distance. So being able to show them, well, actually, that's really you. That's what makes you unique. That's what, that's what's brilliant about you, and be proud of it. And then see people, sort of gradually get clarity and confidence. That's the bit that really, really, makes me really happy.
Okay. And we kind of touched on this because you kind of talked about the avatar of your average client or like the age, but just specifically, what are the pain points that somebody might be dealing with that would make them
Yeah,
best suited to talk to you?
yeah. Well, it's those, sort of feelings of feeling stuck, of like, oh my God, what am I doing next? Everybody seems to have figured it out, and my God, I don't know what I want to do next. Or, they've been sort of told by either their parents or their teachers, you should do this because you're good at that, academically and stuff. But deep down, their heart is not into it. It's just like there is something that doesn't click, something that doesn't connect. And so you do it because you know you can, because you know that there's a, high chance that you're going to get the grades, but your heart is not into it. Or that could be, people who actually went for something because, on paper that sounded great, and then 6 months, 12 months into the studies, they're like, oh sugar, that's clearly not what I thought it would be. And so they move from a place of being quite pretty sure as to what they wanted to do, to a place of, well, I'm no longer sure. I really don't know what I want to do anymore, because this is not ain't what I thought it would be. So it's this moment, it's catching them at that moment where, it starts feeling really like you start losing, your confidence, you're losing your sleep, and we don't want, you to slip into anything worse than that. No anxiety, no, sleepless night, and even worse, sort of development. It's really to sort of say, let's have that support that will be like it, think of it as a gentle guide to help you on your path. I'm not here to sort of tell people what to do. I'm just here to gently guide them and be there, by their side, and answer whatever question that they have whenever those questions arise.
What does your average power partner look like? Who do you synergize well with? What other professionals or professions do you find a lot of ability to collaborate or refer back and forth with?
That's a good question. Well, obviously, you would have career advisors, in educational, sort of settings, like, sort of either at college or at uni, and they might sort of see it from, the perspective of what the market needs and what the market wants. And it's absolutely the right thing to do. We need to understand, the world we live in, the economy we live in. I mean, there's been huge changes in the past few years just with the onset of AI and how it's, sort of rippling through all aspects of our society. So those educational professionals who are helping and guiding from the perspective of what the market wants, I would be a good, complement, because I would be, well, yes, that's what the market needs, but that's what you're best suited for.
Okay. And then what advice would you give to a new or an aspiring entrepreneur?
Always, you know, trust yourself and have confidence in yourself and go with what you're great at. Follow your natural gifts. Don't try to copy, any other business because you saw them and they were successful, and you think by replicating what they are doing you're going to be successful, because that's not the recipe for a successful business. I think especially, when you are owning a business, you're on boss, so you can't just expect, anybody like sort of giving you, sort of like, well, that's your goal for this month, or that's your objective. You are in the driving seat. Um, and as much as there are advantages as being, your own boss, because obviously that gives you the control, power, sort of flexibility. At the same time, it can be, quite lonely and quite challenging, because you need to get going, and it gets even more pressurizing when you start, sort of employing people. So it's really important to anchor your business in your own strength and what you're great at and what you're going to shine with, because that's the key to resilience, that's the key to keep going, that's the key to sort of, sort of falling off and then pick yourself and get back on the saddle again.
Yeah, absolutely. And like what you said early on was, you're starting your business, right? You're not trying to imitate what somebody else. It's good to take advice what other people are doing or
So
see what's worked in the past, but
yeah,
ultimately it's you. No matter what you're doing, you're selling yourself. So if you're not being, your authentic self, or if you're not playing to your strengths, you're going to fail, because you're not going to be as good at somebody else as
absolutely.
they are about being themselves. So it's fantastic advice.
Yeah.
What's the first step to finding a career? Let me ask it again. What's the first step to finding a career that truly aligns with who you are?
I think it's that knowing your natural strength. I use a tool, and I like this tool very much because it's very robust. It was developed about 25 years ago, in the US actually, and it's called the Character Strength Survey and Character Strength Report. And the beauty of it is that it's been taken by millions and millions of people across the world. So it's universal. It's not like, oh, it only works if you're, well, living in that part of the world, or if you're that age or whatever. It's been taken, yeah, across ages, gender, social classes, and it boils down to, yeah, understanding what your top strengths are. And if you are aware of your strengths, if you understand what they mean, and if you really master them, there's that sort of mastery of those strengths, that is a really good starting point to, finding your career path. Because you can then sort of start understanding, okay, I've got that unique blend, that unique mix of strength. And basically, yeah, look at that match. Where are the jobs? Where are the occupations? Where are the type of roles that those strengths will be a great match for?
Why do so many young adults feel lost when they're choosing their path?
I think because of this aspect of um, not focusing primarily on who the person is. So, you know, maybe, cast yourself back to when you were a student or young, so even before at school and a pupil, and you were guided towards certain career choice or whatever. People always come with, well, you know, we need more of this. I mean, at the moment, and it's been like this for a while now in this country. There's an absolute obsession about what's called STEM. I don't know if you have that in the US as well. STEM, so science, technology, engineering, and math. So everybody's talking about STEM, and STEM. My daughter is at college here in Chichester, and they are building a brand new, building within the campus, and it's a new STEM facility, and it's like, go into STEM. And I'm not saying that, it's wrong, but what I'm saying is that often, um, colleges, universities, and so on, they will go for what is in demand, as opposed to really focus on what's really suited for the person sitting in front of them. And so when it's a good match, because that person is great at math, wants to, become a coder or an engineer or something, that's great. But when that person is not suited for that type of role, that's when the car crash, happens.
Yeah, a square peg, round hole doesn't work all that well.
Totally.
So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
awesome. Well, no matter what somebody does, there's always a million other people doing something similar. So
Sure.
why you? What sets you apart from everybody else out there doing something similar?
Well, that's a good question. Obviously, first of all, I've been doing mentoring for quite a bit now. And as you mentioned at the beginning, I started with business mentoring, and now I'm doing, career mentoring. I've got um, an experience of the real world and the business world, being my own boss. The thing that also is very, different from my style is, yeah, really starting from that positive place. And my absolute unshaken belief that everybody's got talent. It's just a matter of finding it. Another aspect that is quite different for, when you work with me, is that I'm using and I'm blending new tech. We're gonna use AI and helping, so having the first pass as looking at those, various role or career options, and match that with your strength. But I'm also tapping into ancient wisdom, like the teachings of Mother Nature, things that have been here like for centuries, and because they survived the test of time, they are clearly, a good source of teaching and learning. So by blending this ancient wisdom and that new tech, this is also a different approach that can help for different personalities, because we all learn differently. So I flex my toolbox, if you want. I pick in my toolbox the tools that are gonna be suited to the individual. I'm not ramming them down their throat, a one size fits all method. I really, as a mentor, and that's the rule number one about mentoring, is listening. You listen to the person which is in front of you. You are not preaching, you are listening, you're absorbing. It's active listening. You pay attention and you pick up on what's said. And through that, then we work on the next step and what needs to be focused on.
Okay. I know we could go down all the rabbit holes with this because there's a lot to it, especially if you're bringing up ancient teaching.
Ah, yeah.
Then we can go back years and years and years. But in general, is there anything that I missed or that I failed to ask that you wanted to add?
No, I think that that's pretty much. I mean, I know that we're gonna, sort of had number of links and stuff, and just, yeah, I've recorded talking about, this um, different ways of learning. So I've got, you can find me on my website, and all the services are there. But I've also recorded recently a video for, an introduction to how I help, because I thought, well, okay, going to my website is for people who like learning through reading. But if you prefer listening or watching, then that video will be available as well. It's on my
Okay.
YouTube channel.
Awesome. And is that the best way people get a hold of you that want to ask questions is through your website and through your YouTube channel?
Yeah, that's the best. I mean, obviously, if you are on LinkedIn, that's also a place where I tend to be active. So and Facebook as well. But from a professional network point of view, that would be LinkedIn as the primary
Perfect.
channel.
Awesome. And I'm going to share all that in the show notes. So, it's super easy to find. Just go click.
Fabulous.
If you're thinking about having a conversation with Sylvie, do it. You're going to walk away knowing more than you did going in. She's doing awesome things. She's helping a lot of people. And I can tell you for certain, when I was in my teens, I had no idea what I wanted to do. It took me until 7 minutes ago that I finally figured out what no. So it's a very, very big area that gets overlooked because we've all had that same thought as, how am I supposed to figure this out? I don't know what I'm good at because I haven't been alive very long, right? I haven't had time. So getting help there is huge. So absolutely reach out, have that conversation. If somebody would like to get a hold of me, you can find me at ikag.me. You can find more episodes, subscribe to our newsletter, and connect with our growing community of awesome people like Sylvie. If you or somebody would like to be interviewed, you can also apply on the website. But thank you so much for coming on.
My
I really appreciate you coming back. I'm excited to see this new pivot that you made. You're helping a lot of people. So I'm excited to see where it goes. But let's all go out. Let's have an awesome day and grow our circles, all right?
Thanks a lot. Bye, Anthony.